please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to a Megon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today we're going to be responding to another TikTok account that I found that just raises many questions. Far too many in fact. But as is often the case on TikTok, you will discover if you watch enough of the content on this channel, everyone's an attention seeker desperate for something to make them stand out. Unless they get noticed by the Libs of TikTok Twitter account, in which case must play victim and respond to every negative comment that I get. But there are some comments that are semi-positive, and we will get to one that actually leads to us being able to respond to another video from an account we're going to look at called Marmulak. Do not go to their account and hassle them. Consider that your fair warning. This individual, I will admit, confused me upon seeing the first video we're going to look at that was shown by Libs of TikTok, who had tweeted, "Trans activist explains how seeing drag queens made him comfortable with becoming trans. I thought drag was just innocent, beautiful, family-friendly entertainment. It's almost as if they're pushing drag on kids for other reasons." In the United Kingdom, drag is quite common in things like pantomime, and that is, for the most part, kid-friendly, because they're wearing full outfits that aren't overly sexualized on purpose. But there are other parts that we've seen, and videos shared all over social media showing the absolute extreme opposite that is quite bad and negative. This also leads to an area of confusion for children while they're still children, which is where many are now looking at the current generation who are older, like myself, and thinking, okay, have we all learnt our lesson yet? Can we stop this and perhaps, well, get back to some form of normality? Not that normality ever really existed, I know. If you're going to be a pedantic shit, don't do it in the comments here, because I will bully you for it.
My beard and body hair is feminine.
Are we doing this thing, you know, the celebrity child thing, where they try and seem different from their parents who are well known for being looked after by being the absolute opposite? Do you have famous family?
Hang on a minute, body hair is not feminine. My body hair to me is just as beautiful as the embroidery you'd see on a dress.
Based on beauty standards that have existed for centuries, I'm not inclined to believe that makes it beautiful. But again, we all have very subjective interpretations on what beauty is, and of course what femininity is. I would go so far as to argue that one does not need to exist for the other to be true, but it can also be said that femininity is not beautiful and body hair is also not feminine. In fact, based on current westernized standards, it's the absolute opposite. Although I have seen the 80s making a comeback, maybe the growler will too.
Hi, my name is Quinley Rose. I'm a bearded woman.
A bearded woman is typically someone that works within the occupation of bearded woman at a circus. Yes, a sideshow, a freak show, that kind of thing, right? Do you consider being a bearded woman to be a form of a flex? If you do, I have news for you. In current year, it is not a flex. I know you paused for effect to let it sink in, but if anything, you're just baiting out the obvious answers you're going to receive in the form of criticisms about what you say you are and what you really are.
I began my transition back in 2016 by first changing my name. Throughout the past 7 years, I've explored who I am, where I'm from, what my forms of expression are.
And the end result is somebody that looks quite clearly confused, but at the same time so arrogant enough, but misplaced arrogance because of a lack of intelligence, to believe that what they are is in fact their final form. You've evolved with rare candies, meaning that you now, at the age of 20-something, have accomplished very little, have no additional boosts to your stats because your final form is a step back. And if anything, just renders you someone that is under a perpetual state of confusion because I think you huffed too many Zubats. I do wonder how many people got every single one of those Pokemon references. I have noticed in the comments to a number of your videos, people suggesting perhaps you go back to Iran as you are now. So that would lead me to believe that you are Iranian of descent anyway. But I, because I'm this guy, consider you British, because I'm not a dickhead who thinks, you need to get out, you took our jobs, because I don't believe you have a job.
I've really had the time to explore who I am, but it's now, who am I interacting with the world around me?
Well, I can make this remarkably simple for you. You're interacting with other idiots on TikTok, and then your love is being shared to Twitter, because stupidity really does need to be spread, as thin as it can be, because there's less chance of the stupidity being contagious. TikTok is a fantastic platform for people to espouse their interpretations of beliefs without them really getting any form of blowback, unless it is them replying to the comments section, where there will be some that do it. TikTok is fantastic for these short bursts of content. The majority of the content produced by this particular user, by the way, is just lip sync 6 to 7 second long clapbacks. Yeah, trying to act all magnanimous and superior, but in reality looking incredibly brittle. She's one of the 3 stages of matter. Can anyone guess the other 2?
Since growing and learning, I've been able to see role models who live as their highest, most authentic self.
I didn't realise the bearded lady community was as big as you indicated it. Am I right to surmise you have regular meetings as like a family reunion, where you talk about your battles with your arch nemesis, the Gillette razor?
I want to try and share my journey here on TikTok.
Since this video was shared by Libs of TikTok, you got quite a lot of views on it. It's not one of your most viewed, but don't worry, I'll show that one soon as well. You call this a overdue introduction. The thing is, when I scrolled through your TikTok page, you've been doing this for a long ass time. So I would surmise the reason for the introduction is because you gained some traction.
I'll take the bad with the good. I think representation is so important. As a baby tran, I saw that through drag queens.
Libs of TikTok have tweeted out a considerable amount of anti-drag queens being in schools and around children, and also anti-pride. Let's go with that, because there have been a number of videos showing the nearest you can get to being a worshipper of Slanesh without being a worshipper of Slanesh in front of children. Even the gods of chaos do not support this, okay? So when one finds that someone as young as this individual, 20 years young according to their TikTok homepage, has grown up from the age of 13 to present to become this version of themselves, it lends credence to the belief that something is going wrong in society, that this is becoming more normal on the parasocial platform of TikTok.
To see someone in bearded excellence and understand what it means to be pretty and to feel feminine in your body hair, that was really important for me.
As someone with a beard, I take great umbrage with the reference of body hair, which would include facial hair, being included as a form of femininity. I feel like the words masculinity and femininity are being eroded at on a near daily basis, so why bother referencing it as such if these things aren't as important as they used to be, yet simultaneously they are because of your identity. What is not feminine, what is or is not masculine, seem to be absolutely meaningless now. So if I'm to take those away, what are you really? Desperate and starving for attention on a social media platform where you can have millions and billions of views and still be an absolute nobody.
I'm not a drag queen. I want to see representation. I look forward to sharing my journey with you.
Strange flex to make, but okay. I'm not here to judge if you are or are not a drag queen, if you are or are not trans, if you are or are not feminine. I'm just going to question whether or not certain aspects of what you believe femininity is are in fact feminine traits. The short answer is no. Now, I have said I've got other videos. The first is playing on the screen now. This is one of those very short videos that they've put out that's garnered a lot of views. Yes, it actually has 300,000 views. I'm going to let it play a couple times over while we talk. The point of view, you are trying to relearn femininity after your transition, but you only have 3 poses. This got 300,000 views, which speaks volumes about the nature of TikTok that got 300,000 views. Now I'm going to finish with one more video where they are answering a comment that they want to answer. The question in the comment reads, "How did you undo all the brainwashing of our society on this issue? I can't seem to do it, and I've been trying to for years."
So I've been absolutely dying to answer this question. Let's start now.
Sorry, I take 5 to 7 working days to do my makeup. I grew up in England as a little girl with a very privileged Iranian family. Gender roles weren't exactly strictly enforced, as a lot of trauma from the revolution made it difficult. However, they liked to run with the grain. One of the biggest thoughts running around in their head was, what would anyone else think? Don't want people talking about me.
That is less a cultural Iranian thing and more a humanity thing. Do you have any idea how judgy humanity is? Or have you been so busy living within your own little echo chamber of, but only I could be an authority on this particular cultural difference, and it's completely different to everyone else's, yet it is identical, but I'll never call it as such because it's totally different and I need ammo. It's basically a form of fallacy, the appeal to authority. Thinking also that you're unique when there are billions of people on this planet. You are a drop of water in an ocean of judgment. Humanity is faulty for many things, not just for being very judgy, but also for creating people who look like they are on a daily basis confused by literally everything that matters.
The gossip mentality was really toxic. If it directly impacts someone's well-being, then okay, I'll give it a thought. If it's only about the thoughts in their head, honey, I've got ADHD, try living in my brain for 24 hours.
I can promise you this, having ADHD does not make you special. It really doesn't. You'd be surprised how many people are diagnosed with ADHD on a daily basis, and what coping mechanisms are presented to help people with ADHD go further in life. Your ADHD is manifested externally, and I have no doubt it will change as you get older. You are, after all, only in your early 20s, and there is much more your ADHD can do to help you if you let it. And in before someone now says, oh, you're downplaying or speaking ill of ADHD. No, I'm fucking well not. Grow up.
The way I perceive gender is if a man or woman has been capable of presenting a particular way across any time in history, then that's how it should be. Men across history have been wearing dresses and women have been wearing trousers. Heels were created for men. So
you do realize that neither are indicative of being male or female though, right? It's not the clothes that define you. I get the feeling if I asked you what a woman is, you might struggle to answer the question. You're not the smartest. Do I need to now insert kilts as the obvious retort when it comes to men, masculinity, and a skirt?
Sorry to say, but you're not unique. And that to me was my power.
If you were a Power Ranger, you'd be the shittest one.
If a man across history or a woman across history has been able to present the same way as me and have a long or happy life, then that's enough for me.
You realize how that can be interpreted as someone saying that their personality is so unique that no one lives that long because you're a persecuted person. You're a marked individual, yes? When in reality, you're probably going to live one of the longest lives if you could find a way out of your confusion. Again, stop huffing the Zubats and your own farts, and you might find there's something more productive you can do in your life. Find a cure for male pattern baldness.
I exist. I'm not creating a new path. Everyone on this planet is so unique that the only thing I really need to do is just be myself.
There is not a single person on this planet, human that is, that can truly say they are unique. There are people that will look like you. There are people who will sound like you, behave like you. Similar interests and hobbies, fashion sense, belief system. This is where tribalism exists, by the way. But you will find, with the billions of people on this horrible, miserable planet that needs to end, No Lives Matter 2024, vote for me everyone and I'll end it sooner, that there will not be one person, one human, that is truly unique. But the desperation of some to try and find a way to be unique is their drive in life. I have found the best thing that I can do in my life to succeed at anything I do is to focus on what I do. That motivates me. I draw my strength from that, from a desire to be better, not to be complacent, but to understand not only my limitations, but to also excel and try to push where I believe I can. You are the amalgamation of every poor choice that can be presented to somebody who didn't get enough love from their family and thought they were so different and unique, yet at the same time nothing better or different from their own family. I guess the one thing that makes you different is you wear a dress and you drew inspiration from drag queens to do it.